if you see, this is the URL. First, what I will do is, first I will read only single record, the product ID. Click on yes. See, only particular record you can read it here. Now, when I try to use question mark dollar top equal to 11. So top 11 record. Yes. Like this. If you, in case, if you see the URL, the first part is fully qualified with the host name all the way for the first single slash. The second part of the information is then question mark, and the third one is the key value. So from here we need to run the just OData operations I performed here. Now what I will do is, if you want to add a product, here also we can add it. The other way how to add a product is new terminal. Here you have to use a command curl -h equal to, here you need to the content type, and also the new field. If you see here, this is the content type added and the product ID. This is a new record and the product name and the unit of stock. Like this you can add it. Once you add that product ID here, let's reload this. Now the new product ID need to add. Pretty printer, see, the new record is added now. Like this we can add it by using the command. The second way, here also you can add it. Now if you open it here only 3 records, but within the application you can see the 4 records. In case now you want to change something, the content, I mean, now what I will do is, I will change this units in stock is a 39 to 1. That one how to change is, for that also we need to use a command. The same command we are going to use, but the data format is different. For that, -h, again we need to write the content type application.jsn. So I want to maintain my data units in stock is 1. For which field I want to maintain is for the product 1 field. If you see here, I'm maintaining the port. If your port is different, maintain that port name and maintain the remaining data, whatever data you have. So this data, first record data I'm going to update it is 1. Now previously it is 39 actually. Now let's reload it. Pretty printer. Now you can see units in stock is 1. If you see here in the table, it is 39 only. Like this you can update it. In case if you want to remove it, same way you can use it, but instead of h you need to maintain the x and delete patch you need to use. The next step what I will explain you is how to add a second entity. Now if you see here within the schema we have only one entity. Now I will add second entity. For that, before going to add, just go here Northwind service. First we used this entity. Now I am going to use a category ID entity. I will define it. Then I will maintain a relationship for these two things. First, if you open here, this is the entity name is the category. This is the key field. These are the properties. And if you see here, we have a navigation property of the products. That's why I choose this entity. And here the collection type is Northwind product and the partner is category. So for this navigation property section, it's an OData v4 standard documentation. So here is the product entity type is itself called category. See. So for this product entity, the navigation product entity type is itself is category is there, order details is it. But I'm going to use now is a category and it leads to our category entity type and the corresponding path back to your category entities like this. So for that, I'm going to do is first I will define a category entity, then I will write remaining things. So same way, entity key name is category ID, category name and description. Now the entity is defined. Now I need to maintain that service here. Further, entity categories as category project and Northwind Bridge dot categories. Yeah. Now once you click on here, you can see in the output the terminal, the data is loaded and open in new tab. See, now categories part is there, but there is no data. Now I will add it the data also. For that, we need to create a category folder. As I said before, by using add file also we can do it, or else cds add data. Now if you see, already the products is there. Now category CSV file is generated. Now I'm going to maintain the data for category. So now I maintain some records here. Let's run the application. So if you see now the metadata, see here we have two entities. One is products, another one is categories, and these are the properties we define. Like how the metadata, the data will change automatically. If you see here also both entities is loaded. Now what I will do is I will define a relationship in this schema. For that, go to your schema dot. Here, before going to define a relationship, what we need to understand is here two-way relationship will be there. So now what I'm going to define is I will define a relationship for the OData service between the products and the categories. First, here I will define a relationship for the category. Associations to categories. This is the entity name. Here I will maintain the products category colon association to many products. On products dot category. Self. Here what I added here is I will explain you the point. The category property is a pointer to a single instance of categories entity, but in the products property is pointed to many instances of the products. So it has qualifying expression to ensure the right relationship. So once you click on save, now the data is added. Go to the port, refresh this, and if you see the metadata, now you can see the relationship. See here the products. Let's close this. Yeah, for the product entity, the product navigation property is category. I'm calling reference to only one instance. That means within this category whatever record will be, that complete records will come here, but here it will be a collection. I mean many instance will be there. If it is single will come. If it is multiple instance will come. Like how the relationship I maintain it here. Now what I will do is when we run this data, let's run the products. If you run here, the category, category ID is null. If you see here, it is coming null. Now I'm going to rectify this data. I'm going to extend the data for the product entity. For that, if you see here, we have only three properties. Now I'm going to add the new properties category hyphen category ID. So now I maintain the data. Now I added the category hyphen category ID data here. Now if you see, once I maintain that, here it's loaded and the data will be updated here. And let's run the port. See, now if you see, category ID is 1 1. That means for this two product records, the category ID is only 1. If you see the product ID 3 4 5 6, here the category ID is 2 only. Like this, we need to maintain a relationship. That means 1 is to n and to 1 connection. Now I will add a new feature for this. Now I'm going to add some simple business logic. So to create some simple business logic, we need a service.js file. For that, in a SRV folder, I will create a service.js file. .js file. So here I am going to add some JavaScripts. First, what I will define is module dot exports dot srv. Now srv dot after performing the read operation, comma, which data I want to read, products data, products. For this data we have multiple items, right? So items. Now I will use return statement. What data I want to return is items dot map. I will search the particular record here. Item. If the item value is here, we need to maintain your logic, whatever data. Now what I will do is here I want to sort an item value units in stock greater than 100. So I want to return only this data. So for this I want to concatenate the item dot product name name. This is the property. So if the units in stock is value is greater than 100, that all products values I want to concatenate. Sales now is on. Sale now on. This data I want to return. Return item. Here I will explain you what things I have written. If you see here, first I will maintain the module.exports. So first in a CAP runtime framework as a service implementation file, if you want to define any functional startup things, we need to use module.exports is the standard part itself for the entire file content. So when the framework want to handle some registered APIs, I means service.after means after I need to read the data and I want to perform the operations. Now here what I did is within the I want to perform a read for the entity is the products. If you see item equal to greater than, so it should be execute when the OData reads an operation of the product entity data. So if you use an after API call, it will jump into a request processing flow towards the end. When the lifting the data is left completely data, it will hold. Instead of after, we can use before and on events also, but now I want to use after, that's why I used this specific function. So in simple what I did is I will use a map invocation to modifying the values of the product name. If the out units in stock is greater than 100, I want to update the product name will be on a sales now on. Now let's run the application. Once you run the application here, if the out of stock greater than, I mean here you can see previously it is grandma's is a spread, this is the data you can see now. Now once you refresh, let's open it. Now if you see here, if the data, if the outs in stock is greater than 120, here you can see sales now is on, now on. Like this we can add a logic. That means what I'm doing is instead of concatenating things in my UI side, in the CDS view itself I'm concatenating the code. Now I will modify the custom code something new. What I will do is here I will remove the entire call of the SRV after, just I will replace is SRV on. For that what I will do is here I removed complete after, just I maintain the on and I define some item awake next and I return if the value is in units in stock is greater than 100. So here first what I did is previously I use an items parameter as a data will be provided instead of expecting the given original data request. But here finally I'm waiting to call the next function synchronously. So I will call the next one and I will perform the operation. So to define the function input, what I will do here is first I will go to the service. Here I will add the function, the function name you want to, I need to give total stock count is the function name. I want to return only integers, that's why I maintain integer. Yeah, so this function I'm going to call. This function where we need to define is, we need to define this function in srv.js file. Before going to define, just I will show you once that is added, the function is added, you can see the changes here and you can see the changes in your metadata also. Let's go there, run the metadata. If you see here the new function is added, total stock count, maintain it as an integer value. Now I will import this function. For that, go to here service. Here I need to load the function srv on the function name. The function name is total stock count, right? We use that function here. I want to maintain call asynchronous request by define. What logic you want to return it here. Here I'm calling the items. Items equal to wait CDS dot dot data. Run statement. Here I need to define a select statement. If you see here, now once I maintain this, automatically this constant is declared here. This one we need to change. So for the product entity, this is the namespace. For this, I maintain the logic. Here what I maintained is, just I will explain you what things I maintained here. Here I am using the destructing to pull out the product entities defining from the Northbridge service via CDS module. So if you see here, the first I will use SRV on read product asynchronous require next. So what it will happen is it calls that you already had. There is an now second call for the handling to register the API to defining the total stock count function. So here I'm importing the total stock count function. For that it will navigate it here. This will handles the anonymous function just like the other, except that it's only accepts and need a request is REQ. This is the request. So once you maintain this request, what it in the CDS call, note that the products is a constant and not a literal string, and it refers to the entity set object that we retrieved via CDS entities earlier. So it will read the data, based on that it will maintain. Now if you see, the product data items are stored in product ID, name and unit of stock, everything. Right now here what it will do is it will call just the unit in stocks property and it will check the data and it will run. Now go to the application, let's run it. You can see the response of V4 here. Here if you see products and everything, within the main I will add slash total stock. Now what will happen is it will call the total stock count. Something name I maintained wrong. Slash copy this here and maintain it. Yeah. Yes. Here you can see the function of the total stock count. Once you click on the function, here you can see the value. Like this we can read complete. If the value, whatever the value is greater than 100 count, that count I'm concatenating here, and finally I'm displaying that value is 292. If you see the products here, only one value I maintain, the greater than value, whatever the data value is there, that data, and it will concatenate that value and it's displayed. Like how we need to import a functions and we need to maintain your logics, just like in your CDS service. In CDS service we'll read the total count, we'll maintain the code. Like same way here also we can do that. So guys, now you guys learned, right, how to create a simple OData service in our CDS structure. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel and stay tuned for more interesting video. Thank you for watching.